Memory transcription subject, Captain Sovlin, Federation Fleet Command. Date, standardized human time, October 18th, 2136. The human fleet deposited me in a cell on Venlil Prime, and without warning, the predators stopped visiting me altogether. Based on the claw tallies on the wall, I calculated that it had been at least a week. The Venlil guards were colder than the humans. One of them spit in my evening gruel and muttered a curse against my depraved soul. Against all odds, I found myself missing Carlos, and even Samantha. I kept busy by contemplating the Axe's interrogation and how to refute their absurd story. There had to be reconciliation between the Terrans and the Federation. It had required an unthinkable cost, but the Gajid government was swayed to the humans' corner. Unfortunately, Prime Minister Piri's death was confirmed by UN ground forces. Her final transmission could only achieve so much. I offered to bargain with the Federation for them, but then the humans abandoned me. They're just gone, I mused aloud. If I strained on my hind legs, I could peer out the window to the capital below. Venlil Prime was a massive planet that dwarfed the likes of Earth and the Cradle. By comparison, it had a shorter orbit and slightly higher gravity than the average world. Interestingly, much of its landmass was inhospitable. Sunlight never touched half of its surface, leaving it too cold for plant and animal life. Its bright side had the opposite problem, too scorching hot to sustain water sources. There was only the thin space between extremes to build settlements. Venlil scientists searched for new ways to push the frontiers, with various methods to cool their planet. They manipulated atmospheric reflectivity with aerosols, built an artificial upwelling system in their ocean, and used cloud seeding to generate rainfall. It took colossal effort to keep the gears in motion. Not all species are blessed with a perfect home. If it weren't for sentiment, Venlil colonies are much more conducive to habitation. The sight of human predators walking about became more frequent over the past few days. Many Venlil would give them a wide berth or cross to the other side of the street. I wondered why Earth was suddenly sending so many people abroad. Such a widespread presence was a lot to ask of their friends. A pointed cough came from the other side of the cell door.
Enjoying the view? Looks like you've had plenty of time to study the intricacies of Venlil society.
I whirled around to see Samantha with her auburn hair tied back in a knot. Her predatory eyes were unfocused, as though her mind was elsewhere. The anger in her voice bore a colder aspect than the last time I saw her. My instincts pronounced her demeanor as highly threatening. Was there something I had done to infuriate the humans? Or worse, were they becoming corrupted by the Arxa? "Hello, Sam. I thought you guys had forgotten about me," I answered. She bared her pearly fangs, eyes dilating in a flash.
My friends call me Sam. You're not my friend.
Right. Sorry.
That you should be.
Bootsteps sounded behind Samantha, and I breathed a sigh of relief as I recognized Carlos. For a moment, I thought the female had snuck in alone to assault me. Everything about her stance screamed that she was thirsty for blood. Maybe it was simply not seeing a human in days, but I felt there was some substance to my inference. There was a jingling sound as the male guard slid keys into the door. The spark was gone from his brown eyes, and his subdued mannerisms were uncharacteristic. The last time I saw Carlos, he was ribbing me and striking down my thoughts at every turn. There was no sign of playful mockery or admonishment now. My spines bristled in alarm. "What happened to you both? Something is wrong." Carlos gave me a weary frown.
Earth was attacked by the Federation. Over 1 billion dead.
Don't pretend like you care. You got what you wanted, Sovlin,
Samantha growled. Horror washed over me and I sank back onto my bed. No wonder the humans were upset. I remembered what it felt like to watch the cradle burn, to grapple with the loss of my home and culture. Why did the Federation have to piss off the only species to defeat the Arxa? There was a time where I wanted to cripple the Predator's breeding grounds. That derogatory terminology still rang in my ears. When I turned myself in to UN custody, I was expecting to witness a brutal society. Instead, Earth amounted to decent people going about their daily existences. It was a structured planet, rich in life and culture. That's not what I want now. I nibbled at my claws with anxiety and tried to keep my expression submissive. "I'm sorry for your loss. I know what it's like to be in your paws." Samantha clenched her fists.
Of course you do. You caused your world's death while trying to kill us. Just like the crocodile.
"You're right. We brought it on ourselves, and I know that. We were horrible to humans, more so than any apology could ever excuse. Yet you showed mercy and compassion.
Fuck mercy. The rest of our fleet went home, but we get tethered to you while Earth is under siege. How is that fair?
It's not, but I have no say in that. I can see you're hurting. If it makes you feel better to quarrel with me, then I encourage you to do so. Samantha turned her back in disgust. There was no way for me to offer amends that would satisfy her. All the same, my concern for her mental health was escalating. I knew how grief could swallow a person without a proper outlet. I cast an inquisitive stare toward Carlos, looking for direction. The male guard's nostrils flared with pent-up frustration. Had the humans only visited to extol their anger on me? I'm glad you're both okay, I added, breaking the icy silence. I hope some of Earth was able to hold out. Carlos nodded.
We drove them off. With help.
Help? From the Venlil?
Sure. And other interested parties.
That is a vague descriptor. Who else would have come to rescue humanity? Carlos waved for me to follow him, and the absence of his snarl was striking. It was like the guards had received a personality transplant. Both seemed infused with hatred and impassivity, though one was directing it at me more than the other. I was frightened of what their predatory emotions could compel them to do. Dark thoughts raced through my mind as I tried to recall why I trusted these predators. Their heroism on the cattle ship seemed a distant memory. My eyes widened in alarm at consideration of the rescued. That reminded me of the Gajeeds on Earth, cared for outside a large metropolis. What happened to the Gajeed refugees? I blurted. I'm sorry if that's selfish, but I have to know. The male guard sighed.
The primary camp was brought to Venlo Prime when we started moving human evacuees. Most are safe.
That is positive news. How many humans did you evacuate from Earth?
Millions. We've known the Venlil all of 3 months. Some people preferred to ride it out in a bunker, or were banking on us to rout their forces.
Stop talking to that racist delusional prick like he's your pal.
Samantha spat.
Carlos, I thought we had this conversation.
The olive-skinned human crossed his arms.
I'm being civil. There's a difference.
Not wanting to sow more division between the duo, I kept my other questions to myself. That did explain why the humans' presence had increased rapidly. The cynical part of me wondered if the predator influx resulted in a spike in crime. The primates posed an extraordinary threat when they were angry, and they had to be more prone to deviant behavior than the Venlil. Carlos led the way past native wardens, and we stepped out into the capital's crisp air. The guard's strides seemed a bit strained from gravitational exertion. The difference on Venlil Prime wasn't enough to be significant, but the humans would tire quicker in physical activities. It was another reminder that they weren't home. A pair of Gajeeds were waiting by a spacecraft outside, joined by several UN personnel. My eyes widened as I realized why they were familiar. It was the deaf youth Talpin and his sister Berna. Both seemed to be in better spirits than the last time I saw them, and were carrying necessities. I can't believe I thought the humans were going to kill the kid first time I saw him. We all shared that thought.
Hello, Captain Sovlin.
A synthesized voice spoke the words in the Gajeed tongue, but with a bit of human growl. Talpin must have been given an AI program with Terran phonemes installed.
Why are you being kept in a prison? You are a hero to us all.
The young Gajeed finished sliding his claws across a keyboard and fixed me with an expectant look. I didn't want to recount my crimes in detail. Then again, I wasn't sure how to begin translating my reply. At least, Samantha seemed mollified by Talpin's presence. Perhaps it served as a reminder of her deaf brother. I deserved to be there. I made another person, a human, suffer, I muttered. Talpin turned his pupils to a nearby human and scanned the contortions of their fingers. His eyes widened. The adolescent struggled to believe that I could be involved with anything nefarious. His bared claws hovered over the keyboard for a moment before he typed out a reply.
Why?
Came the synthesized question.
Your deeds are spoken of in legend. You are a hero, a righteous man. You save lives.
I lowered my gaze. I'm none of those things. I thought causing a predator pain would fix my problems. Berna appeared stunned as well.
You sound like you're talking about torture, Sovlin. That's vile. The humans are sweet, sensitive, generous.
I blinked in agreement, lowering my gaze. The predators beside Talpin projected fondness toward him, but I could see their jaws tightening as they listened to me. At least if Berner spread the word about Marcel, my people would squash the myth of my heroism. I deserved to have my legacy tarnished, and to be remembered for the sum of my crimes. Talpin tapped at his keyboard.
How could the humans treat you so kindly?
I don't know. Ask them, I answered. The UN volunteer beside him thought for a moment before launching into an emphatic reply. The human translator seemed passionate about whatever she was conveying. The deaf Gajid looked impressed at what was passed on and nodded in acceptance. He shot me a disdainful look. I cast a nervous glance at Samantha. You speak sign language? What did she tell him? The guard flashed her teeth.
That you deserve to live with what you've done. That human discipline doesn't stoop to your level.
Well, that was a recurring sentiment when predators spoke of me. What I didn't understand was why the guards brought me to meet Talpin and Berner. It looked like the two Gajids were about to depart on a spaceship. After my disclosure, I doubted they'd want a send-off from me.
I don't want to travel anywhere with him.
Talpin waved his claws emphatically at the predators.
Not if he tortured a human. He is a disgrace to our kind.
Berner curled her lip.
I second the notion. We both owe humanity our lives.
My confusion intensified, and I shot Carlos a questioning look. Talpin seemed to think I was accompanying them on a trip, but I didn't have an inkling what he was referring to. Where were the humans taking them? Was I actually involved?
Sovlin is the perfect person to pass on several messages for us. He can get you two through the door with those Kolshian bastards.
The male guard tossed his shoulders in an uncommittal gesture.
He's also the one some Federation fuckwits might believe about the Gajid refugees and the war.
That was a good omen if the humans still wanted peace and dialogue. Maybe the attack on Earth hadn't completely pushed them to the Arxer side, as improbable as that seemed. These Terran predators had a merciful side, and I hoped we could appeal to that. It didn't sound like the entirety of the Federation was involved. The neutrals had minded their own business. There had to be some people that could convert to Terran advocacy. Other races didn't have to end up like the Gajids. Warmth filled my chest. A messenger. I'd be happy to testify on your behalf and broker peace with your enemies. I know about remediation. Samantha scowled.
Peace is not an option anymore. Frankly, I'd declare war on all of the skeptics now. But we can't fight 300 species at once. At least, not yet. We're going to purge the 24 who attacked us, followed by the 14 others who voted for war.
What? That's the message, I gasped. Carlos shook his head.
No. I'll get to that in a minute. Firstly, we need someone who can look into several items for us.
Read this. We had it printed in your tongue. Extra special for you.
The female guard sneered. My shaking claws accepted the pamphlet, terrified at what the predators had inscribed. The paper nearly slipped from my grasp at once. Mournful tears pooled in my eyes. Roussel was dead. Killed by his own government for siding with humanity. I had mentored the Kolshians since he was a child, and shepherded his development. His advice on the bridge, combined with his honor, was steadfast. I wanted him commanding my ship in my absence. It pained me that our last interactions were him viewing me as a monster. My vision burned, and I dabbed at the wetness with my fur. The humans wanted to uncover why the Kolshians would resort to murder. It was unclear whether any future violence was planned against pro-human factions, but the predators weren't taking threats lightly. Not after Earth. The Terrans don't want species reaching out with false friendship. They want anyone who plots against them exposed, humiliated. Why would the scholarly Commonwealth be so opposed to humanity's diplomatic outreach? I was itching to demand Chief Nikornis' reasons for myself. He came across as a fair leader, reasonable to a fault. I would have considered him the kind who would give predators a fair shake.
Look into the Kolshian matter for us, and find documentation of first contact with the Arxer. See what you can dig up.
Kawas growled. Samantha crossed her arms.
We need to know who's complicit in every scheme against us and our allies. Who is worth sparing? Who started this predator hatred, and why?
The male guard narrowed his eyes.
Our governments believe that you feel remorse, that you're not a flight risk. This is what we need from you, Sovlin.
Okay. And the message, I stammered. You implied there was a statement to deliver.
Oh, that's easy. Tell the Federation we're done contacting or negotiating with them. They never raised a finger to stop the attack on Earth. Let the neutrals know that they either reach out to condemn this terrorist act, or they can prepare for total war.
That message sent a chill through my blood. The other Gajeeds looked horrified as well. I needed to find a more tactful way of phrasing that flagrant threat if there was to be peace with any species. The humans could rack up a lot of collateral damage in seeking revenge for their Earth.